What is the most pathetic thing you could do when trying to make money off YouTube? Answer: invest in a YouTube channel. I'm not talking about a hard gamble where you devote your time and money into building a channel with hopes of starting a career on YouTube. No, I'm talking about piggybacking off of somebody else's career, whether it's via investing in portions of their channel's stocks, or simply buying the established channel. I certainly wasn't expecting this. About an hour after I uploaded my last video talking about a major problem that's facing YouTube right now, I received an ad where this guy is trying to get people to invest in his YouTube channel. Then, ironically, I get a video recommendation from Atozy talking about this very person and how what he and others are doing on the platform is basically a scam. So f it, since there seems to be a whole other layer to this onion that's facing YouTube, I'm going to talk about it. I'll link Atozy's video in the description, and yeah, let's take a look at this scam and dive into why you should not invest in YouTube channels. What if you could go back in time and own a piece of Mr. Beast? Well, already off to a terrible start. That statement contributes to the aforementioned claim I made about how pathetic it is to piggyback off of somebody else's career. He's using Mr. Beast's legacy to promote his own channel. If you have to use somebody else's success story to try and raise money, then it's probably too early for you to be raising money. So this is the full ad. What if you could go back in time and own a piece of Mr. Beast? With the digital content creation market projected to skyrocket from 27.3 billion USD in 2023 to a staggering 61.9 billion by 2030, now is the time to invest. But why though? Why should we invest in this guy? Well, here's his pitch. With over 1.5 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, Sean's loyal active community is continuously increasing. He's generated an impressive 55K plus in revenue, showcasing a skyrocketing interest and trust in his brand in 2023 alone. That's an impressive 1,146% increase in revenue. Sean Hansen is giving you a front row seat to join his digital empire. The opportunities to create revenue are endless. If they're truly endless, then why should we settle for this guy? Think of it like pitching an idea to an investor. You're competing against other similar practices. What makes your business stand out? What separates you from the competition? I mean, it's great that he can now finally pursue YouTube as a full-time career, but why does he need to raise money if he already has been over the last year? 55 grand off YouTube is a fair wage, and I get that the whole pitch is that it'll continue to grow and you can help by investing. But in that same pitch, he also acknowledges that other channels will follow suit, which brings me back to the aforementioned question of why should we settle for this guy? He hasn't given us a legitimate reason as to why we should invest in him. The only thing he's provided is this concept that it's a good idea to invest in YouTube channels, which it may not be once we get into the weeds of this. So if we go onto his campaign website, you'll see he's looking to raise about 120K for 10% of his revenue with a 10-year term length, which is an outrageous amount of time to wait on a return for your investment. So this guy's giving his channel a $1.2 million valuation over the course of the next decade. And when you look at his channel, he specializes in short-form sketch comedies.
Thank you for your bravery. In return, I offer you my only daughter.
Yeah, I'm starting to see why he's trying to sell 10% of his channel. Shorts are a great way of driving traction to your channel and raking in views, but not so much on monetization due to the minimal watch time. A million views on a 10-second short is not going to equal the same amount as a million views on a 10-minute video. You still need to get a certain number of hours and engagement before you can get paid, and in order to do that with a 10 to 60 second short, you would need tens of millions of views just to reach the bare minimum. This is not some passion project where you can just do what you love. You can't take shortcuts. You have to understand the YouTube algorithm and make content that gets the most monetization possible for your channel. It may sound greedy to only care about profits, but when you're trying to get investors, equity is everything. Nobody is going to put down money if they're not going to get a return on their investment. It's not happening. But if that hasn't convinced you not to take precaution, wait till you see these graphs that project the value of his channel based on statistics that he's pulling out his ass. This is his potential investor distributions, which is the projected revenue over the course of 10 years. So if you invest $50 per share and he makes $2 million over 10 years, you'll get a 1.3x return on your investment, or $66 per share. Allegedly. On the off chance that happens, that's still very underwhelming with the amount of risk you're taking, and then it just snowballs from there. 55 million all the way to $1 billion. Brother, Mr. Beast doesn't even have a net worth that would equal $1 billion in 10 years. Talk about ambition. There's maybe 5 creators that accumulate what you're talking about if you expand to every platform that they're on. But in the case of Mr. Beast, he fails to understand the concept of what he does. He's explained numerous times that the money he makes, he gives away and then puts into more videos, which in return allows him to make more money to help more people and make more videos. Mr. Beast doesn't care about profits. This guy would not be able to do what he does and be able to pay back his investors. Unless he himself doesn't care about keeping a portion, which I highly doubt considering what he's doing is basically begging for money. He clearly doesn't understand how any of this works, especially the stock market. You're supposed to buy low and sell high. It needs to fluctuate. If there's a fixed price on shares and you have to wait a certain amount of time before selling, which in his case is 10 years, then there's so much risk for collateral, especially in the grand scheme of content creation. One bad act and you could get canceled online. There goes your return on investment. If he just focused on making videos and giving his audience some sort of value, he wouldn't need to sell 10% of his channel. But instead, he doesn't even explain what he's raising money for. The proceeds from the offering will fuel further expansion into long-form content, deepen our community engagement, and allow for more strategic brand partnership. This guy speaks like that other guy we talked about a couple videos ago who tried to pitch a pyramid scheme on Dragon's Den, which it could be if you added crowdfunding and make it stupider.
What's up guys, I'm Sean Hansen and I'm a YouTuber with around 2 million followers across all my platforms. And today I'm giving you the opportunity to invest into my creator career. So you might be wondering, how does this work?
I have committed everything surrounding my creator career to an LLC. This will include platform revenue, brand deals, businesses I start, as well as anything else related to my public persona. In addition, I have set up a new entity that I am giving anyone the ability to invest in. If the amount is raised, this entity will get 10% of the revenue rights from everything in my LLC right now, as well as 10% of the revenue rights from everything I create or build over the next 10 years.
He could just grind it out and not need money at all. The whole thing just comes off as a massive cash grab.
One important thing to note is that anything created during this time period, investors will retain their rights to even after the term is over.
Once again, he hasn't stated what he needs the money for or what he plans to do with his channel. What's the repercussion? Is he gonna have to give us 10% of his earnings if he starts working at Target? There's a lot of loose ends.
I have 4 main revenue sources today. Number 1 is my YouTube channel, Never My Fault, which now has 1.5 million subscribers. Number 2, brand deals, which started to come in of early 2023. Number 3 is my YouTube channel, Fault Night, which I just launched in December of 2023 and is focused solely on long-form content.
Yeah, and if you go to that channel, you'll see he hasn't uploaded in 5 months. With the last video not even cracking in 1,000 views. Sure, he has a couple videos that performed well, but if he's not doubling down, then there's no way to increase monetization. But again, if he just did that, he wouldn't need to be raising money. Instead, he's choosing to sell shares at 10% for an average shorts channel and an inactive gaming channel.
Number 4 is the rest of my platforms like TikTok, Snapchat, Discord, and a number of other YouTube channels. With this, I feel like I'm at an inflection point in my business where I feel like I could ramp up content production if I had additional funds, and in order to do that, I'm looking to you. Through the Crowdsurf platform, I'm looking to raise $120,000 in exchange for 10% of the revenue rights of everything in my LLC, as well as 10% of the revenue rights from everything I am going to create over the next 10 years.
So guys, right now we have a really strong foundation and things are good, but I know that they can be great. And that's why I'm looking to raise money, to ramp up my production, put my foot on the gas, and bring you guys along with me.
You wouldn't need investors if your foot was already on the gas, which according to your revenue last year should already be the case. That's the main problem I have with this guy's pitch. Everything he says can be contradicted with something else he said. He states he needs money in order to turn over a profit, but then showcases a sustainable profit without any investments. He proudly proclaims his channel is worth the investment, but then uses Mr. Beast legacy to try and sell it? What he's doing doesn't sound like a prominent investment, it just comes off as incredibly sketchy. And if you look at his stats right now, you'll see his views are down by 50% compared to last year, with no trajectory of his income for 2024. So that leads me to believe that he's lying about the value of his channel and how much he actually accumulated in 2023. As Atozy states, there are multiple million subscriber channels that are trying to do this. It genuinely would be safer to just buy Google or Meta off the stock market if you want to invest in the creator economy, rather than investing money in individual YouTube channels. There are many ways to support creators that aren't high risk, high reward, such as becoming a member or Patreon donations. And if these creators just spent their time building a loyal community rather than trying to sell portions of their channels, they could easily do everything they're trying to promote. If there's a lesson to be learned from all this, it's don't invest in YouTube channels, or at least not in someone that isn't already a full-time creator. I just had to talk about this because I found it to be such a wild concept, and that's really about it. So